So as usual, I said again, all credit goes to these individuals that taught me all this stuff. We're going to begin now. So we left off with, I believe, Fisher struggling everything to get this correct. What that really means is that we're going to do a bunch of manipulation to get this into a form that's presentable. How on earth are we doing that? Well, we have that. And with that said, we can, I guess, use the expression for AO divided by A now. Interesting. Oh, okay. All right. So let's just see what happens when we do that. Because I am confused, but I think it'll make sense once we do it. So this really gives you basically a M and a basically row A, which makes sense. A is velocity, A is O, and so on and so forth. But this is also, shouldn't this also equal row 0, A 0 with a certain A and 0? I think it should. And this is sneaky. Oh, I see how it works. Divide this by row O, AO, and A. What does that mean? We can divide by row O, AO, and A. A cancels out. We have M, and we have parentheses row divided by row 0, and A divided by A 0. Beautiful, cha-ching, or whatever, everything. Wonderful, great, whatever the terms. From last time, we know these relationships. Basically, remember, I'm just looking at this, but row O divided by row alpha minus 1 equals 1 plus alpha minus 1 divided by 2 m squared. And then A divided by AO squared, which means square rooted, equals 1 plus alpha minus alpha divided by 2m and square rooted. So what that really entails as saying is giving this, let me just look at this one. We can say row over row equals, I believe, uh, 1 plus alpha minus 1 divided by 2 m squared divided by 1 over alpha minus 1, right? Because 1 over alpha minus both sides, you can use both properties, you work it out. Yep, that sounds about right. And over here, square root, so we add these two up. So that would equal 1 plus alpha minus 1 divided by 2 m squared. Oh, by the way, there's an m already. M squared, 1 minus alpha minus 1, and then there's a plus a half, right? So that would indicate there's an alpha minus 1 plus 1 divided by alpha plus 1 minus 1, sorry. And then that would mean there's alpha minus 1 plus 1, which doesn't make sense because it's not what the professor gets. I did something wrong. As usual, I always make a mistake. And probably the mistake I made was this has 2 divided by row 2 parentheses minus 1 plus row minus 1 divided by 2 parentheses row minus 1, right? That is clear. There's negative here, so that equals negative. So that's row plus 1 divided by 2 row minus 1, right? So for this equation, you can kind of see where this goes in. Row minus 1 divided by 2 m squared, right? I believe there's a square here too. And then this is row negative row plus 1 divided by 2 parentheses row minus 1. And with that said, we have the equation that we're looking for. Now, uh, we're allowed to get the pressure version, negative alpha plus 1 divided by 2 alpha minus 1. So clearly, they got rid of the minus symbol over here. So that would mean that this needs to be inverse, but they're not common denominator. So we're going to do 2 divided by 2 plus alpha minus 1 divided by 2, which equals, I believe it is alpha plus 1 divided by 2, which you see over here, and then we inverse it. So it's 2 over alpha plus 1, and then we keep the rest of the thing, but it's plus on the coefficient of the exponent power, and then we have it. Similarly, all the stagnant temperature turns into gamma, which was saying HO divided by, and then so on and so forth, like the TO and everything, turns to alpha plus 1 divided by 2 ratio, which is interesting, I must say. Other than that, is there anything else to discuss here? Well, we have the A divided by A star equation that we have to go through, which we will right now, I guess. Or we can do this in the next video, but why not just do it now? I'm leaving for somewhere else right now soon. I have to get my umbrella. I have to buy an umbrella soon, so because apparently I didn't buy an umbrella. So we will do this right now, and I think it's the last thing we'll do. Well, let's A equals to, let's see if I can get it from memory. M plus 1 plus alpha minus 1 divided by 2. M squared parentheses. It's going to be alpha minus 1 divided by 2 alpha plus 1. Did I get it right? Yes, I did. And then we're going to do M dot rho O A star, right? Equals, I believe it was 2 divided by rho plus 1 divided by alpha. Oh, this is negative. I got it wrong. So no, I didn't get it wrong. Alpha plus 1. And that is correct. Now we just divide these two, right? Divide. And then when we divide, how do we want to divide it? So we want A on top, right? And then we want A on top. So if we want A on top, we want to do it this way. M dot divided by rho O A star divided by M dot divided by rho O A, which equals this. So this is 2 divided by rho plus 1. This is rho plus minus 1, 2 parentheses rho plus 1, divided by m, 1 plus rho minus 2, m squared. And this is negative rho plus 1, 2 rho plus 1. Okay? What does that give me? We have 1 divided by m, and we have 2 divided by rho plus 1, rho minus 1 divided by 2, parentheses rho plus 1. Am I correct about this? Yes, I am. And then this is inverse over here, so we have 1 plus rho minus 2 divided by m squared, and then this is the same thing. So in total, we have 1 divided by m, 2 divided by rho plus 1, parentheses 1 plus rho minus 2, m squared, which is Mach number, and then we have rho plus 1 divided by 2, rho, same thing with the plus. Beautiful. All right. There's a pressure version too, I think, and a square root. I don't like square root because it can be a plus and minus. I should probably just use half, but it really doesn't matter here, I don't think. So with that said, can we solve this here? Um, did I do this right? Yes, I think I did this right. Okay, so first of all, we can move out our this thing. So this doesn't have any effect. So it's going to be 2 divided by rho plus 1 divided by rho plus 1 divided by 2 rho minus 1. That just stays like that. Now the rest, so this can be rid of. We already got that. So 1 divided, so then it's 1 to 5. So we can just write p divided by p rho alpha minus 1 minus 1. That's the wrong here. Okay, so over here, then it's negative 1 divided by 2. And it's 2 divided by rho minus 1, negative 1 divided by 2, right? Right, am I correct about this? And this gets rid of this portion over here. So now we need this portion over here. So what does that tell me? This tells me 1 plus rho minus 1 divided by 2. M squared is basically 2 divided by rho minus 1. So this gets rid of this to 1. And then it's PO divided by P alpha minus 1 minus 1. So this gets rid of that, that gets rid of that. So it's PO minus P alpha minus 1. And that's what the professor gets? No, that is not. There's an extra half. Did I make a mistake? Ah, yes, this thing over here, right? But then we have alpha minus 1 divided by 2, alpha plus 1, right? Which is power like this. So it's just multiplication there, which I think that is wrong. I have made a mistake here because that's supposed to be a plus and this is supposed to be a minus, I think. So this is a plus and this is a minus because I think that's not going to work. So then we have this cancellation possible. But there's a 1 divided by rho I'm missing. Oh, this has a 1 divided by rho. This has a 1 divided by rho. So this has a 1 divided by rho. And that is correct. Yes. Okay, everything's good.